how much you need more than one Target until you're in a city that only has one Target. Because
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Rachel Leah. If you're new here, hey girl, hey. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. So today's video is going to be a apartment tour from when I was living in Fayetteville, North Carolina. If you're interested in this video and more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned. At the end of the video, I'm gonna do another talk through, just kind of going over where the apartment was located, things that I liked about the apartment, things that I didn't like, and just kind of giving my overall opinion. So stay tuned.
You don't have to go. It's okay, world. Time will be right tonight. You don't have to go. It's okay, world. Time will be right tonight.
Hey guys, you just watched my apartment tour from when I lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So now I just want to give some more information about the apartment complex and my experience while I lived there. So the name of the apartment complex is End at Fayetteville. When I first moved in March 2020, the name of the apartment was like Plantation at Fayetteville. They changed it around the time when like all those riots and stuff were going on. I don't even know if you can call it a riot. I know they did like a protest in Raleigh, and next thing I know, we were getting an email that the name was changing. I don't know if that's why the name changed, but it just seems like a big coincidence. But anyway, that's the new name of the apartment. I will link all of the apartment information down below. So now I'm going to give you my little story about how I ended up there, things that I liked and things that I didn't like. If you don't care about this, this is the end of the video. Like, thank you for watching. Bye. But if you do care, keep watching. So before moving to Fayetteville, I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was working in Charlotte in human resources. I had just kind of started in human resources. But the job that I was at, it was like so much crazy stuff going on. So I had to get up out of there. I looked and looked for a bunch of different jobs all over Charlotte, still in HR, and just could not find what I was looking for. I didn't want to take like a huge pay cut or anything like that. So after a while, I just kind of expanded my search. I'm like, Charlotte doesn't have me in a chokehold. I don't have to stay in Charlotte. I owe this city nothing, period. So that's kind of been my mindset, the last few years. Is like, I'm single, I don't have no kids. We can get on up out of here, like for sure, at any time if we need to. So I expanded my search, and then I came across a HR position. I think it was located in like Spring, North Carolina. It was Springville something. So I, scheduled the interview, whatever. So at the time when I had the interview, I didn't even realize that it was literally like basically Fayetteville, North Carolina. And my dad's family lives in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So I have aunts, my cousins, like all those people live in North Carolina, in that part of North Carolina. So of course I got the job. Not of course, but I got the job, thank God. So I got the job. So during this time, I'm like looking online at apartments, trying to find stuff on YouTube. I didn't find anything on YouTube about living in Fayetteville. And I don't know if you know much about Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's a military town because there is a base there. I don't know. I don't know why I want to say Fort Myers, even though I know it's not called Fort Myers. Is it Fort Bragg? I think it's Fort Bragg that's out there. So it was mostly a military town. So the whole town kind of caters to the military, and they don't really care about people like me or, single people, no kids, just trying to have a good time. They don't care about that. So, I'm looking for apartments, and that's actually what inspired me to do my video, because I wanted to help other people moving to this area and who may be like me, you don't know anything about this area. So it's like, what's the tea, sis? And especially even with an apartment, it's like, yeah, I can look online, look at pictures, do a whole tour, meet the staff. But y'all know the people that work at those apartment complexes are fake. So they're not going to tell you, the real. So that's another reason that inspired, my video. So yeah, I got the job. I was looking for apartments. I came across this place. Like I said, at the time, it was called Plantation at Fayetteville. I really wanted like a luxury apartment. And for that area, no shade, it's very hard. Like my idea of luxury, it was hard to find that, but this was the closest thing that I could find compared to the other apartments that was luxury. So I really liked the apartment. Just from day one when I did the tour, I really liked it. The community was really clean. The office staff was really nice. The model apartment that they showed me looked very nice. One thing that was surprising, because a lot of apartments I found Like they'll show you like a model unit and then you get your unit and it looks nothing like that. But that was not the case here. This place, even their pictures online, very on point with how the unit actually looks. So that was one thing I really liked about the apartment. What was like a selling point for me was the price. I ended up getting a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I didn't need a 2-bedroom or a 2-bathroom. I literally only got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom because of the price. I believe when I moved in, it was like $1,100. And keep in mind, I'm moving from Charlotte, North Carolina, where I had a little 1-bedroom, which I don't think I was paying $1,100, but where in Charlotte can you get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom for $1,100? If you find out, let me know, please. So that was like say what? How much is this? So of course, sign me up. I want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, period, done. So I really thought that was a good thing. Now, other people might think, I'm only speaking about things that I thought was good about the apartment. Someone else moving in a different situation might think that the $1,100, which of course now the price has gone up. I think when I moved out, my unit was like $1,500. And at that point, I'm like, I'm not paying $1,500 to stay in an apartment in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We're not doing that. So at that point, nah, it's too much. We got to go. Which I was leaving anyway, but I wouldn't have stayed. Well, I would have stayed. Okay, we're rambling. So for me, the price $1,100 was not that bad for what I was getting. So I made a list of just some other things that I liked. So another thing I really liked about the apartment, it was so quiet. At this time, when I moved to Charlotte, so I moved to Charlotte and then I moved to Fayetteville, and I hope I said I moved there in 2020. I feel like I said 2018, but it was definitely 2020. I moved to Charlotte in 2018. So at this time, I'm moving to Fayetteville. There's so much chaos and drama in my life. There's a lot of stuff. There's drama, there's chaos, there's heartbreak, there's this, there's that. It's a lot going on. We are not in a good place at all. Mentally, physically, emotionally, all the elites, we're not there at all. So I really enjoyed that this apartment complex was so quiet. It was quiet and it was peaceful, and it allowed me to heal. Like this apartment, I don't want to say this apartment saved my life, but it really helped me. Like y'all saw the view from the balcony. Like I loved looking outside and just being out there. There's nothing. It was quiet. It's birds chirping. The sun is shining. It's a good old time. Like I needed that peace. I needed that quiet. And then COVID was I'm not going to say COVID was a great thing that happened, but COVID was another thing that happened, which everybody's like, oh, I'm so sad and I'm depressed and I can't hang out with people and blah, blah, blah. But that was another thing that helped me, because I had an excuse not to hang out with people. And people would be like, oh, do you want to do this? You want to do this? Oh, I'm not going nowhere because of COVID. And granted, I really was scared of COVID, so I really wasn't going to go. But now it's like, you're going to be mad at me because I don't want to go outside and get COVID? You're going to be mad at that? Like, how can you be mad at somebody because they don't want to get COVID and die? Like, I'm very dramatic. That was a lot. But anyway, so that apartment really helped me to do a lot of deep thinking. Even Fayetteville itself, it's like a very, in my opinion, quiet city. I did a lot of hiking there, like found like nice trails that I would go to on a weekend, just so peaceful. And I would listen to podcasts. I was journaling. I really got to just spend time like digging deep into myself and like, figuring out my life and just forgiving things and people and all that other stuff. So those were like my pros about the apartment. I didn't really have too many negatives. So one thing I didn't like about the apartment, it was a very nice apartment. It was very clean, but there were spiders, and it was infested with spiders. I think I would literally be laying in bed and a spider would fall onto me. Like, who really wants to deal with that? So that was a big negative. And I remember one time I came into my house, I don't know how long I had been gone, maybe only just a day for work. And the cabinets from like one end of the kitchen to the other, like that little space between like the refrigerator and like one cabinet, there was like a whole web that just there. So I really didn't like that. I'm not really scared of spiders. I don't like bugs, period. So, but I wouldn't say like I was scared. I don't like bugs. I think I did see like water bugs every so often, but if it rained a lot, then I'm surrounded by trees, I'm kind of like, that's okay. So I didn't really like that part. Another negative, and I don't think this can be helped, but it was a lot of, my neighbors were loud. Like the apartment downstairs to the right, yes, I'm calling you out, I don't care who's there. And I'm saying this because several people moved in and out of that apartment, and it was always the same thing. So that apartment must be like a party apartment. Those guys would sit on that balcony 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, not just Friday and Saturday. If it was Friday and Saturday, I wouldn't have gave to whatever. I would have cared, but I wouldn't have cared as much. But no, it wasn't Friday, Saturday. It wasn't Friday and Saturday. No. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day, every single day. These people did not take a break. It's like as you would think, they didn't have a house. They only had that balcony, and they literally sat at that balcony drinking their beer, talking their politics, making noise. Like, I wanted to, I don't know. I did report them several times, but of course okay, this is another negative that I just thought about. The on-call security guy, joke. One night I came home, I'm getting off topic. One night I came home, my door was cracked a little bit. I think my balcony door was cracked a little bit. So I'm thinking somebody probably broke into my house. I was scared to go in. I don't know what's going on. I live by myself. So call the security number. You know, this man told me he was out shopping, buying groceries, and he was gonna be a while. And I think he told me to call the cops. I'm like, well, I didn't want to call the cops. You're like, your ass is supposed to be here for these type of things, but no. So I luckily went across to my neighbor. I don't even know these people. Knocked on the door like, hey, can you just do a walkthrough at my apartment? Which in hindsight probably wasn't the best thing to do, because he could have been the one that broke into the balcony. Thank God, you know, I lived to tell this story, because that was crazy. So I didn't like that guy. I didn't like the security person. And then it's not even that he was out shopping. There was no follow-up. Like, the next day, later on that night, hey sis, is you good? Was somebody in your house? There was none of that. So yeah. But anyway, I did call him on a loud neighbor several times, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna do a walkthrough. So I guess he would walk around the apartment complex, and of course he never heard anything, which bizarre. Another negative, this is more so about the city. I didn't find there was that much stuff to do in Fayetteville. I also really didn't make an effort to do stuff. So there could be a lot of stuff to do there, and I just really don't know about it. My idea of doing stuff is going to Target, and they only had one Target. You don't realize how much you need more than one Target until you're in a city that only has one Target. When I was in Charlotte, if one Target didn't have something I needed, I can go to another Target and go to another Target, go to another Target, whatever the case is. If Fayetteville did not have what I needed, we just didn't have it. Like, I just didn't get it. That's just what it was. So I do think that was a negative, because your girl needs Target. Like, how do you live with only one Target, and not a nice Target at that? If it was, and I'm not saying like a super Target, it doesn't have to be a super Target, because who needs a super Target? But just be a nice Target and have like the decent basic things that a Target should have. I feel like that would have made just my quality of life so much better. So the last thing I have on my list as a negative is my move out process. Honestly, this apartment complex, I had to think about these things to say that was wrong, just to kind of, you know, balance it out. But honestly, the one thing that really annoyed me, my experience living at this apartment, I had no issues. But when it came time to move out, I don't know, the whole staff just became like a whole different set of people, which we did change company, so maybe that's why. So I really don't even know where to begin. I knew I wanted to move to Houston. I've been wanting to move to Houston for like 4 or 5 years now, but sometime in September, I think I was transitioning to, no, that's not even why. I don't know what was going on. Something was going on in September, and I think I was just at a place where I'm like, I'm getting older. I'm like, you know, at that point, that like almost the end of being 30, I had just turned 30. I'm like, I want to move to Houston. I've been wanting to move to Houston. Why not? Like, let's just go for it. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At least we can say we did it. So, because at this point I was like in the process of looking for a new job, and I didn't want to get another office job because I didn't want to feel stuck in that city. I wanted the freedom to move to Houston and try it out and then not have to worry about looking for a job because I already have a job. So I ended up getting a remote job, put my plans into motion to move to Houston. So I notified my apartment. I don't even remember. Everything happened very quick because during the time I knew I wanted to move to Houston, I also, it was just like so much going on. Like one day I'm like, okay, yes, I'm going to go to Houston. Then the next day, like, no, I'll just wait. Maybe I'll go in like June or something. So I basically like within 2 weeks was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I had to let my apartment know. I think I told them like I got another job and I just found out like very last minute. But I think when I was going back and forth, I did tell them like, hey, just want to give you guys the heads up. I'm probably going to leave pretty quickly because I'm expecting to get a new job. It's going to be out of state. I won't be able to give a 30-day notice because I won't know until like literally the last second. And they was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Of course, that's not what happened, but that's what we said. Because we was not about to give a 30, 60-day notice and be stuck paying rent at 2 places for 60 days. We're not doing that. So once I finally made up my mind, like, this is what's happening, I had to write a letter, bring it to the office, which is fine. The problem came in when they wanted to like prorate my rent somehow. So I don't think I paid my December rent, or like my December rent was supposed to include like some days in January, but it was something that I paid. I remember paying like $200 for something, but I don't remember what that $200 was for. But whatever the point is, I paid a $200 money order for something. I think it was like my prorated rent for like December, and then the rest was going to be like those 4 days in January, plus if I had any issues or anything with the apartment. So I, cleaned up the apartment, moved my stuff. I'm in Houston. Waiting for my final move out statement. So I get my statement. I think it was like probably $1,400, $800. I don't remember how much it was. It was a large amount that I was not expecting. Because what was wrong with the apartment that you had to charge me this much? So basically this part was very annoying because there was a lot of back and forth with the office manager and like myself, because whatever I really can't remember, but whatever I paid that $200 for, I paid extra because the lady was it was like a prorated amount for like 4 days in January or something, because my official last day was like January 4th. So she was trying to say I owed, she seemed really confused about how much I owed. She was like, 1 minute it was $175, then the next minute it was $190, then the next minute it's $180 something. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm just gonna pay $200. That should take care of all of it, and then whatever's left, it will just either get refunded back to me or get applied to whatever balance I have. So now I have my final move out statement, and they have all of these charges on here, a bunch of BS on here. So I had to dispute a lot of those charges, so they corrected it. But I'm like, okay, but it's still wrong because I paid $200. So that part was very frustrating because I literally had to go back and forth with these people for days. Then another thing that really annoyed me, they sent me my notice, let's say Monday. on Tuesday, they're like, if you don't pay this by this date, we're going to send this to collections. And I called them. I said, I don't appreciate being threatened with collections because you just sent me the damn bill. And it's not like I just fled town and didn't care about it. Once I moved here, even before I left, called them, do you need me to do anything else? No. When I got to Houston, calling them, emailing them, hey, just want to check in. I haven't received my final bill. Clearly, I was interested in getting this resolved. And you're going to threaten me with collections as if I haven't been paying my rent on time every month for 2 years? I did not like that at all. But long story short, to cut this story short, I should say, I don't know. I don't know if it was not professional, but it was just very nasty in my opinion, because like I said, I had lived in that apartment complex for 2 years. I literally, even when COVID happened, like people losing their job, people not paying their bills, I, thank God, was still able to work during COVID. I paid my rent on time every single month, and you gonna come at me crazy, bro? Like, come at me. So I didn't appreciate that. But regardless, I would still recommend the apartment complex to whoever wants to stay there. I do think it's like very family friendly. My nieces and like some of my family would come and visit me. I love the space. Also, they have like a guest apartment that you can rent. I think it was like $100 or something. And it's basically like a full 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, like furnished, and your family could stay there for the holidays or whatever. I like the pool area. The pool was nice. I don't remember the pool hours, but I don't never really go to the pool that much anywhere I stay, so that's not really relevant. But I think that was everything. So yeah, other than that, that was my experience living in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So if you guys have any questions about the apartment or anything else you want me to go in more detail about, you can comment on this video or you can hit me up on Instagram. My social media will be linked. So yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you guys so much for watching. And at the end, after this end is an empty tour. So it's like kind of the video I took when I very first moved in. So it has no furniture, but again, the apartment complex, they have videos that you can do a walkthrough of like at the apartment, and they are very spot on. So my end of this is not even necessary, but we're gonna do it. So all right guys, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Bye guys.